Hey there, y'all. I got another stack of vinyl here in front of me. A bunch of random finds from over the last month and a half, maybe two. Ones I just haven't done videos on yet, so I thought I'd collect them all together and we'd do a quick peek at these. I've got some half-price books finds, some a Discogs purchase, I think a random girder find in here, and probably a band website brand new album purchase as well. So we'll take a look at what's all in here, show you what I got. Coming right up. Stay where you are. Hey there, y'all. Welcome back to another Tim Talks Christian Rock. Tim Risto here. Hope you're having a great day, and may God bless your day going forward from here. Well, as I said at the beginning, I got just this random stack of vinyls from a variety of different sources. Thought it'd be fun to do a quick vinyl and CD finds video again, get caught up on some of that, although there's no CDs in today's batch. Strictly vinyl. But there's some fun stuff in here, some surprising finds. Some of these I did feature in a post on one Facebook page. I think it was 80s Christian Rock or 80s CCM. I don't remember. I did a picture post on some of these, so if any of you happen to come across that, you may have seen me share about some of these before. But I haven't done a video about them, so in that sense, they'll be brand new. But a number of these are recent finds for me and purchases. So there's a mix of stuff here. Let's start off with the brand new album purchase. So first up is The Choir. Sorry for the reflections here. Shadow Weaver, one of my all-time favorite Choir albums. This is from 2014, I believe. At least that's when the vinyl came out. I think that was also the date of the album. But anyway, this is just one of my all-time favorite Choir albums, especially of their later time period, I guess you could say. It's got a great sound to it. I love the title. I love so many tracks on here. It's really good. I've got the CD of this, had the CD for a number of years, missed out on when the vinyl came out, and then the band had on their website that they had a few copies that they found. I don't know where you find extra copies of vinyl, but anyway, they came across some more copies of vinyl, and they were selling for a pretty penny, and I really debated about it for a long time and decided to go ahead and jump on it. So I did, only because I really like this album. This one to me is kind of, for me personally, is very similar to, or ranks up there, I should say, with Circle Slide, which to me is all-time favorite Choir album. But this one just for me is a favorite like that one. They're different stylistically in a number of ways and musically, but this one's just a really great album. So anyway, I went ahead and picked it up. It's a gatefold. I haven't even opened it yet. Maybe we should open it. Should I do that? I'll go ahead and do that because it's kind of it's tearing in some spots anyway. So let's just help it along. I love the sound of this album. I love even the front. Sorry if you can hear me over me tearing this open. I love the sound of this album. I love, like I said, a lot of the tracks on here are just great. I love the title of Shadow Weaver. I even love the blurry photo image on the front. It's just really cool. All right, so there's the front. Even like that photo imagery on the back as well too. Just really got a cool, this black and white stylistic, or actually it's kind of a tinted stylistic photos. Here is the gatefold. Let's see if I can keep some of this from reflecting too much. Very, very cool. I haven't even seen that before. With the owl flying in the trees here, the moon. Very cool. This was produced by Derry Doherty and Steve Hindalong and Mark Bird. Great album. Some of my favorites on here are opening track, title track, Good Morning, Shadow Weaver. It Hurts to Say Goodbye, one of my all-time favorite Choir songs. What's the other one? I think The Soul of Every Creature Cries Out, if I remember that one, is good. The Frequency of Light is good. Rhythm of the Road, which I think is all about, the band on the road. Antithesis of Blue, of course, Shadow Weaver reprise. Those are some of my favorites, but really a very cool album. Let's see what the vinyls look like here. I think these are just black vinyl. I don't think they're colored. Just a simple black paper sleeve. And yeah, black vinyl, nice black vinyl. Side 1 and side 2. I won't take the other vinyl out, but anyway, just a favorite album I had to pick up because I do like my vinyl. All right, there you have it. The Choir, Shadow Weaver, just a great album. You can go by their website, see if they happen to still have any copies left. Like I said, it's a pretty penny, so be prepared. But they might have sold out by now, too. I'm not sure how many copies they had. I also went ahead and donated to their GoFundMe for the release of Free Flying Soul on vinyl as well, which I think comes out in, I don't know, another month or two from the recording of this video. So that's one I'd like to get. I'd still like to have, Circle Slide on vinyl, but it's just pricey anywhere you look, and maybe they'll re-release it at another date. Anyway, Shadow Weaver, great album. Let me know what your favorite Choir album is, and maybe what Choir vinyl you've got, because they've got some good stuff out. All right, next up is a Discogs purchase, one that I'd been eyeing for a while since it popped up in my recommended purchases or something I had on my want list, I guess. And it's Barnabas's single, or 45 RPM, a kind of a maxi single. It's a full-size 12-inch vinyl release from Light Records from the album Feel the Fire. And it's got the song Feel the Fire on one side and Follow You Up on the other side, both from the Feel the Fire album. And anyway, I'm not big into collecting, 45s one way or the other, but for some of the groups that I really like, and when I see something that's kind of rare and at a decent price, sometimes I'll pick it up. Not, again, big on these 45s, but this is a full-size 45, a 12-inch vinyl. And there's nothing really unique about the tracks on here. They're both, I believe, the same mixes, same length, same everything as from the full, the original album. So just kind of more or less something interesting and unique to have in the collection that I kind of like. So, it's got the cardboard sleeve with just a big Light Records logo on it. Nothing crazy there. It's got a paper and polyurethane inner sleeve, which is kind of nice. And then the vinyl itself, which again is a 45 RPM of this side here has Feel the Fire, 5 minutes 22 seconds. And this flip side here has Follow You Up for 5 minutes 9 seconds. So again, I think nothing particularly unique or different musically, but just as kind of a unique collectible item. Again, I'm not big into collecting many of these, but every once in a while it's kind of fun to get something. I did that with, if you've seen my Prodigal video, I picked up a Prodigal small 7-inch 45 that again happened to pop up, and I thought I'd go ahead and pick that up just as something kind of unique. But anyway, and I love Barnabas. They've got some great stuff, so it's fun. They have another one that's, I think, a small 7-inch 45 out that actually has a sleeve that has a photo on it. I think it has Nicodemus on one side of that 45 and something else on the other. But that's really the one. If I could find that one, that would be kind of more of a cool collectible to have. But for now, anyway, this was just something I thought would be fun. All right, next up are some half-price bookstore vinyl finds. These next three are from some local half-price bookstores, or one half-price bookstore that I found all of these at. First up is Russ Taff's Metals, his second solo album from 1985. This one kind of got a good reputation back in the day. I had his first album on cassette. I think I've mentioned that a million times before in other videos, Walls of Glass, which was actually the first Christian album I ever owned. It was on cassette. I actually never owned Metals, but I heard so many songs off this album on radio airplay. And while it's got more of a CCM kind of vibe to it, it does have a few little rockers on it, including the title track Metals. It does rock a little harder than perhaps Walls of Glass does. But he'd actually rock harder on his self-titled Rust Half later on, I think. But still, this is a cool album, and I found it in the clearance for $2, and it looked to be in really good shape. In fact, I think this had some shrink wrap on it, the original shrink wrap. It wasn't sealed, but it did have it kind of on most of it, and I peeled it off just to so I can put it in a better protective sleeve rather than that original shrink wrap, which is often pretty dirty. But anyway, this is in very good shape. I've listened to it. It's got the original insert sleeve. It's got somebody's name on it. And the vinyl is also in very good shape. Like I said, I've listened to it. It's great, the original Myrrh vinyl. Looks to be a little dirt on it there, but it didn't affect the play at all. So nice to have this. I do have his self-titled on vinyl, and I wouldn't mind getting Walls of Glass on vinyl. There's some things I do appreciate off that album as well, but nice find for $2 at Half Price Bookstore. Also from that same Half Price Bookstore here locally in my area is Randy Stonehill's Between the Glory and the Flame, and as you can see, it says right there, $2. Got it for $2. It was in the clearance section. Some of these do have some masking tape on them. That's all right. I actually have this. This is Stonehill's third solo album, I believe, if I remember correctly. This is from 1981. This to me was kind of one of the last of his early albums that really nailed it completely. Like, I loved almost everything on the album, similar to the first two. First two albums, I think, were produced by Larry Norman. His first two Stonehill's first two solo albums, and then this one was produced by, I think, Terry Taylor. Yeah, Terry Scott Taylor from DA fame. But I like the sound of this album. It's kind of got almost a Beatles vibe to it in some ways. And some other kind of stylistic changes. It's very Stonehill-like, but it's not, I don't think it's overly goofy in spots. I love the title track, Glory and the Flame. Second track, Die Young. Third track, Fifth Avenue Breakdown is great. Rainbow is that very Beatles-sounding like one. And kind of got a little of the Terry Scott Taylor's humor, I think, influence there too. Anyway, just a great album. I really like this one a lot. I think I mentioned, but I have a copy of this already. But again, when you find one for $2, it's like, well, might as well pick it up. It's just, like, you never know. Is this in a little better condition than the one I've got? So I just pick it up. But it's got the sleeve, and it's got the vinyl. I've listened to this as well, and it sounds really good. So somebody kept this in really good shape as well. All right, Randy Stonehill, what are your favorite Stonehill albums? Let me know in the comments down below. This one's definitely a favorite for me. Just kind of a personal favorite, I think. Next up is just because I found it for $2, I'll pick it up selection. And that's John Fisher's Dark Horse. Again, $2, clearance bin find. I'm not real big on John Fisher. I have one of his earlier albums, something Cafe, Joe's Cafe, something like that, which is kind of cool, kind of got some unique stuff about that. And I'm not real into John Fisher, but I know for many years this album was listed on a lot of people's, top 100 CCM albums list. There's no sleeve in here, and the vinyl's a little bit more scuffed in spots, got some dirt on it. Overall, not bad. I haven't listened to much of this. I think I've put on a track or two. But again, this one was kind of considered an earlier, top pick in early Christian music days. So I thought, well, again, $2, pick it up. I need to spend some time with this one. I really don't have. The first track, Dark Horse, is the one I'm most familiar with. And, of course, the whole symbolism or the whole meaning behind that is Dark Horse. It's got the little, definition up here, noun, one who unexpectedly wins. So, kind of interesting analogy and theme built throughout the album. Anyway, I'll check it out, see what I think about it. All right, next up, I've got one that I got off of Girder Records website, I believe it was. Common Bond album. They've had this for a long time. I think it's probably just overstock, from back in the day. This is Frontline, 1986. This is the original vinyl. It was completely sealed. I opened it, of course, but I think they've had these for quite a while, and the price goes up and down. They'll put it on sale, and then they'll mark it back up. But not real familiar with Common Bond, but I have listened to the album. I do like it overall. It's kind of cool. And again, being brand new, you get everything that came with it brand new. The lyric sheet in there with the band photo there. It came in a paper sleeve on the front line vinyl. So, it's in pristine shape. So I like it. I'd eyed it for a long time and finally decided, once they marked it back down again, that I'd pick it up. At the same time I ordered that, I'd also ordered the front, I think it was, on vinyl. They'd had that for a while for, I don't know, $25-$30. They finally marked it down to a reasonable price, and I jumped on it, but a little too late. I guess they sold out of copies before they got to my shipment. So missed out on that, but at least I got Common Bond. Again, some of these that are original, just overstock that they've got that are sealed and everything brand new, oftentimes are worth picking up. So I got that one through Girder Records. All right, next up are a bunch of half-price bookstore finds from a half-price bookstore in Dallas, I believe it was. I was traveling there for some reason and went to a half-price bookstore and found, surprisingly, a bunch of Christian vinyl. So I picked these up. Most of these were not clearance. I think some were. Most of them were $4 or $5. Like $4.99. Some were $3.99. Don't remember exactly on all of them. But this first one was not. This was $15, and this was Krumbacher's Thunder Beach, which I thought was kind of a neat find. I'm not a huge Krumbacher fan, but I do like some of their stuff. And this one is kind of a fairly renowned album in their discography. I think their first album was Incandescent. They had Thunder Beach here is from '87. They had Escape from the Fallen Planet, I believe, was another one. That one sometimes is on Girder. Brand new, still sealed, I think. But I don't know if they still have copies of it. But anyway, this one is a very cool album. Very much an 80s album. I think a lot more keyboard driven, of course. But kind of a neat album. And it's in very good shape. I thought for $15, this is one I never see anywhere. Again, original frontline vinyl release. So very, very cool to have, and kind of got me wondering now about picking up that Escape from the Fallen Planet one on Girder, possibly, and maybe tracking down Incandescent at some point. But again, not a huge Krumbacher fan, but this one kind of hits a sweet spot for me. I do like this one quite a bit. Another find at that half-price books was this copy of Fireworks Sightseeing at Night. This is one of my all-time favorite albums. Definitely a highlight of the Fireworks catalog of albums. I think they had 5 albums. I've started to collect most of Fireworks' discography on vinyl. And I actually have this one already too. But again, they had a copy. I think this was $3.99. A reasonable enough price that I thought I'll pick up, again, a second copy. This one has the for promotion only label there, or imprint at the top, which my other one does not. This one also I don't think has the original sleeve. It's got a paper sleeve, but no insert. The other one has an insert with the band photo, which I really like, that particular band photo. So kind of maybe a slightly subpar copy. I think there was one scratch I found on this one, but otherwise it seems to play well. But again, nice to have a second copy for an inexpensive price. Next up is one that I'm not very familiar with at all. This is John Gibson, On the Run. I have heard some tracks, or had heard some tracks of this prior to picking this up, but not real familiar with it. I can't remember the whole story on John Gibson either now. I know he's was kind of some import back in the day, whether he worked with some other, secular bands or artists or producers or became a producer. I don't remember the whole story. But anyway, kind of a neat album. Got some interesting tracks on it. Not my all-time favorite, but I am warming up to some of the stuff on it. And I've just seen it before in some other people's collection. I thought, well, again, I think this was a $3.99 or $4.99, something like that purchase. And it's kind of cool. This is from 1986, so again, mid-'80s, very 80s sounding album. But hey, those blue eyes, man. I mean, he's got the look, right? So kind of fits that suave solo artist look, right? Anyway, interesting. I'm still kind of warming up to it, checking it out. All right, last up are some Leslie Phillips albums that I surprisingly found as well. Here's Black and White in a Gray World. Leslie Phillips, who of course went on to become, was it Sam Phillips? Left Christian music notoriously, went on to her own much more prominent solo career doing more kind of alternative type music. But before she did that, she recorded 3 albums, I believe it was, maybe 4, with Christian music. This, I think, was her second one, Black and White in the Gray World, maybe her second one, I think. And this is from, what year was this? I don't know what year it is. But anyway, this one, I think, again, was her second album. And this had some neat tracks on it. And this is in very good shape. Again, it's got everything. The sleeve, looks like this is from 1985. Got the sleeve with the lyrics. Her photo there, and the vinyl's in very good shape, so probably not listened to a ton because it seems to be pretty pristine. But a neat album, and I do like some of her stuff. Not every track is a winner, but I do like a lot of her stuff. And they also had a couple copies of, I think was her second album, third album, I don't remember. Anyway, Dancing with Danger, which, again, they had two vinyls. One was a little bit better shape than the other. This one seems to have a little dirtier cover and the like. This one seems more pristine. But, again, they were both reasonable enough that I thought I'll pick them up because I never see Leslie Phillips vinyl anywhere. So finding a couple copies or, 3 copies of her vinyls was, I thought, kind of a neat deal. This one I remember, especially the title track, Dancing with Danger, on being played on Christian radio a lot back in the day. So Powder Room Politics was one that got some airplay, things like that. Here she is, a very young Leslie Phillips. I think she was like, 19 or 22 or something like that at this time, very young. I think she even said rather naive about everything about the music industry at the time. So anyway, that's what I got. Some nice kind of record store, thrift store type finds. Any favorites there of yours among these? If so, let me know in the comments down below. Just thought I'd give a quick share about some of these. We've got another album of the week coming up soon, so I'll get that video out the door probably this week as well. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Go listen to some great Christian rock. And above all else, stay in God's Word. Have a great one, y'all.